what is
life.
up, Unusuals? We are back, and we are bad. We have a fantastic show lined up for you guys today. We got some of our Unusuals in here. We got Rob. We have Chris Mano. We have freaking Humberto, he has a Game Boy. Show them your Game Boy. He's just mid. I don't know what the hell. He's mid game. What the hell is that thing? Like you like flying a drone outside?
I don't advertise anything.
Nothing. No
products. I bought it myself. I don't do any ads. Just my connect.
Just that's
Dude,
it.
I lower my prices right now.
Did you really?
I did a lot.
Okay,
nice.
Good.
Me too. You guys can also connect me.
Amy, what's the 22 on your? Is that like a sports number?
I love. This is actually my dad's lucky number.
Oh,
it was my dad's
22.
lucky number.
Is there anything like?
And he loves the number 22 as well.
If
you guys want to know a funny story, that's actually the reason why I got hired for Valuetainment when Humberto, my supreme leader here, started doing interviews to open up the distribution positions. He did not listen to a word I said, apparently, but he saw my 22 tattoo and subsequently hired me.
Yeah.
So it is 22 I have to thank.
Did he win money or something for the 22?
No,
not you, the dad. That's your lucky number too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
I
such
saw
a random
22
number.
there. I was like, I'm not going to listen to
Like, what's your
anything,
lucky
just gonna
number?
hire her.
236,308. Like, why? I don't know.
Just because.
Yeah, mine is 5 because it's me, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad's gone. But what's your lucky number?
8. I got 8 in every one of my birthdays. 8, 28, 85.
Rob,
Nice.
lucky number?
Mine is number 4 because of Lenny Dykstra. I was a huge Phillies fan
Wow.
growing up, and then Lenny Dykstra lost his mind and went to prison for a while. But Lenny Dykstra was my hero growing up, number 4.
That's
Shout
it.
nails.
Nice.
How lucky. The Japanese, they are scared of the number 4.
They're scared of it?
Yeah.
Why?
Actually, in buildings in Japan, they skip the number 4.
Are you instead of 13?
Because in Japanese it sounds like death, so they don't even say it.
Oh, sorry, it's very aggressive. But anyway, guys, we got some stories today. JFK assassination hearings were yesterday.
Yep.
Were they, Rob? Rob got some pretty interesting stuff about that.
That's pretty late.
That's pretty late. Chris is going to be talking about men and women's sports. And just before we started, I just saw a video on X, which is, I don't want to say random because it's still happening. You would think at this day, it's like we're over that stupidity. But what is it? Male, here it is. Female fencer takes knee instead of competing against biological male. USA fencing disqualifies and expels her from the college tournament, even though her male opponent played for the men's team last year. Dude, go F yourself. Like, the fact that we're still doing this, Chris, I'm already pissed off. You haven't even touched your story. Virginia Giuffre, the Epstein, what was it? Allegedly, what was his, Prince Andrew, the girl that she's saying that she was with him when he was underage. I don't know if he's admitted it or not, whatever.
Yeah.
She got a little accident, and we'll get into that, which is so weird.
Very suspicious. There's
Convenient.
super suspicious circumstances surrounding this one.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty weird. And then Humberto, obviously, he's going to talk about Hooters. They're going
And how to
bankrupt.
fix it.
And like this is not a joke. You know how to fix it. Because I loved going to Hooters when I was in high school. That was the only time that we could be around, like, our football players, and we were around girls, and there was beers. Oh, Kim and T. I remember the girl. Bro, I used to fantasize over these girls because they'd have their Hooters. Like, it was like, I wasn't a fan of the spandex, but
Hey,
but the boobs. Anyway.
That was the first place you and I ever broke bread. When Las Vegas, 2021 or 2, when we did the MGM Grand for the PHP convention. But then we went across the street to the saddest Hooters that I've ever been at. And it wasn't because the women were unattractive. It was because there was no women. There
Zero.
was one waitress, me, you, and Adam Sosnick.
And what happened? You remember?
That was when you hurt your knee running across.
I'm gonna try to send it to Jake. By the way, I'm drunk. This is when I was drinking, and I'm doing like this, get Marcus set go by myself because I'm gonna do the crosswalk and it's packed with like 100 people on one side, 100 on the other. And I go, Rob, watch this. I get down. Some young 22-year-old kid gets down to like race. I'm like, oh, this little young guy, he wants to race me. On your mark, get set. The thing turns white, like the little white guy. I sprint and I pull and tear my hamstring. Black and blue. It's horrible. And Rob's like, are you serious right now? And
no.
By the way, we had a, what was the event called when we had to wear the tuxedos? And I'm
The
like,
gala event?
And I go, Adam, I can't go. He goes, you're not gonna go. Pat's gonna kill you. And I go, oh shit. So Adam, like the true friend he is, I got drunker, put it in ice, and then I had a mobile wheelchair.
Yeah, because in
Wow.
Vegas it was like 75-year-old women are going on their rascals, and then Vinny. It didn't make any sense. Like, this guy's in such good shape, but
And I got tore up. Yeah, I didn't stretch out. But anyway, I'm recovered. All right. So, but the first story, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard about this story. Ashley Sinclair, the young conservative influencer, she just sold her Tesla Model S for $100,000 because Elon Musk, and I have some words about Elon Musk, slashed her child support by 60%. And of course, there just happened to be a camera crew there outside of her Manhattan apartment to capture the pure, authentic, totally not staged moment. Jake, can you please roll the clip of this non-staged moment?
I'm selling it because I need to make up for the 60% cut that Elon made to our son's child support.
Why do you think that he did that?
That's a great question for him.
You feel like he was sort of like vindictive against you in some way?
Yeah, that's his modus operandi when women speak out.
So Elon, by the way, still denies that he's the dad. Apparently, he handed her the unbelievable, ridiculous pocket change of $2.5 million, allegedly, up front, and nearly $500,000 per year. Okay? Elon, what a cheap, foreign Scrooge. All right? Doesn't he understand that kids are expensive? Shame on you, Elon. A 6-month-old child needs more money. Like, don't you guys, like, no, I'm being serious, guys. She's struggling. Diapers? You know how expensive diapers are? Like, I don't know how much it is in South Africa, but like what, Rob, $1,200 a year?
Very expensive.
Oh, another on formula. Juices? How expensive are juices? And if she wants to take this kid to freaking Chuck E. Cheese, you know how expensive Chuck E. Cheese is? With the pizzas.
Out of hand.
And if she brings the friends of the...
It's insane. Yeah, or to just on one note there, I don't think he's denied being the father because I've been looking into this story too, but what he said is, I don't know if I'm the father. Apparently, he said that he's willing to take a paternity test. That was their back and forth exchange on X recently, but it's so funny how this whole thing has come about. Back when I covered this story about a month back, for me, the thing that stood out was just like the hypocrisy of grifting and becoming this right-wing influencer
MAGA.
to
She's
then
MAGA.
go and do the behavior that she criticized of feminism and other women in the first place. She's also been going on a mass like deleting spree of her ex as well. There was this post that she made when Zelensky was coming to ask for aid, something about like, oh yeah, getting ready to see your sugar daddy. And she's now going and deleting any posts that are anything in that vein because she doesn't want to be called out. But people are noticing. It's really funny.
It's just unbelievable. Like, I'm very like Elon. Like, what is he doing, bro? He knows it's expensive in Manhattan. Bro. Like, has he not gotten the email? 6-month-old kids need more than $500,000 a year. Because I mean, what is his problem, Rob? Yeah. Are you sensing the sarcasm? Because I'm putting it on thick. That's unbelievable. Go ahead, Rob.
According to WebMD, the cost of raising a baby for the first 2 years each year, $25,360. So it's not cheap to raise an infant. Mm-hmm. But you certainly don't need, how much was it? $2.5 million?
$2.5 million allegedly was the lump sum he paid. He's saying it. And then $500,000
a year.
A year. So, it's been 6 months.
So I don't know if anybody here has ever been through the child custody process. I have been. I had to fight for the rights to my 14th. God, now he's 16. Jesus. But I had to fight for custody of him when he was 3 years old. It is a very costly process. It is also a very lengthy process. Mm-hmm. And Elon Musk put out on Twitter that he's not even sure if the child is his, yet he still paid these sums. It seems like he's doing the right thing. And from an outsider's perspective, looking in, it looks like Elon is handling this the right way. Mm-hmm. In every aspect. It doesn't look like Ashley Sinclair is handling this right in any way, specifically this Tesla trading in. How many times have you guys gone and sold a car or traded in a car? How many times have you had somebody there filming you when you did it? Zero, I'm going to guess, is the amount of times.
0 times.
There's no way that the press gets wind that Ashley Sinclair is going to trade her Tesla in without somebody from Ashley Sinclair's camp or Ashley Sinclair herself possibly, maybe, allegedly notifying the press to be there so they could cover it so she can get more traction on this story and continue to, in my opinion, use the birth of this child as a way to get clicks, views, likes, attention.
And you know what drives me crazy too? And again, by the way, not judging. I've hung out with Ash. She's a sweetheart. She's a nice chick.
She's really nice.
No, amazing. Like It's like an energy. It's an aura. It's happiness. But I just don't understand. Meaning, I get what women do. I'm not stupid. Athletes, rich guys. When you see like Bill Belichick is with like a 20-year-old. I'm not stupid, bro. Yo, she loves him. Okay, so when you hook up with one of the, he's not the richest guy in the world. Like, there's people in the Middle East that are trillionaires. Anyway, Putin is richer than freaking. I love how they keep saying richest man in the world. Putin's richer than him.
And some people we can't name.
And some people that we can't, exactly. But yeah, Rob, I'll let you say what you're gonna say. But the thing is, if you're supposed to be like Amy said, this right-wing MAGA conservative thing as a person, and mind you, she already has another kid with somebody that's not disclosed. Nobody knows. And it's like, nobody really is even talking about these kids. Like, can you imagine like being a kid, you're going to get older and you're like, who's my father? Well, Elon, you know, by then he's going to be probably like at 25 kids when this kid is older, maybe even more. And it's like, wait, mom, were you married to him? No, I just, was kind of, fishing for him on the internet. And I got him, and then boom, and we're rich. We're in this house now because of you. On a moral level, it's like, mind you, I'm not judging. I'm a freaking sinner more than anybody. But to go to the extent of having a man with no protection, and we talked about this before, Adam's like, no, it's the guy's job to wear protection. No, it's not. Every single guy, if he trusts a girl, is trying to have sex with no protection. Period. End of story. It's the girl's responsibility to be like, yo, Elon or whoever the hell you are, put on a condom. The fact that it wasn't done tells you exactly what you need. And I'm just, I'm just disappointed because it's like, come on, man. Like, and then to make a spectacle out of it, like, what are you doing?
I don't know, Vinny. I don't know if you've read this story, and hopefully we're past 8 minutes right now. Drake, all right? Because you need to go a level above and beyond protection. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, the hot sauce.
All right, Drake, after he's done wearing protection, allegedly, he would put hot sauce inside the condom because some ladies will impregnate themselves after the act.
Oh, my. Wait, so he'd finish, take the condom off, put hot sauce in the condom.
Yes.
And close
it. Dude, can you imagine that's what your life has become? Where you're like, oh, hey, get the Franks. Get the sriracha. Like, what the hell are we?
Hilarious.
It's
a girl still tried, too. She still tried.
She still tried to do it?
Yeah.
Like burning herself?
Yeah, she burned herself.
And wait, then she tried to sue him?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
for damages to her.
So he does that to the condom. She then uses the condom and tries to insert her or impregnate herself or inseminate herself. And then she gets injured from that and turns around and sues him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the outcome?
I would love to know how that lawsuit plays out because only in America could that lawsuit end with Drake having to settle and pay her a financial sum of money.
But Vinny, what we're talking about is not normal, all right?
No, it's not normal.
The amount of money that is going around, it's just not normal. Elon's mission of making as many babies as he can, it's also not normal.
No, it's not normal.
This is
But
normal
But he
about this.
stated his mission. He's on a mission to Mars and he's trying to populate the planet. That's it. If you hook up, by the way, you think she's in love with this was a relationship that was going to last? No. He knew exactly what he wanted. She knows exactly what she wanted out of this situation, period. But this act in front of if you're out selling $100,000 Tesla car, Rob, that was gifted to you, you act as if you're poor and you're on the streets. Like the kid is starving. No, the kid's not starving. You should have, at this point, $2.5 million roughly in your bank account. She was making money on X. What happened? Go ahead.
Look, you mentioned athletes before. Now, I don't know Ashley St. Clair, but I know Ashley St. Clair's, like the type, her type.
Yeah.
If you're following like the news right now, there's an athlete who plays for the Timberwolves. He's a young 23-year-old NBA star, and he just got trapped by a 39-year-old woman.
Yes, give her credit.
Well, they're both from Georgia. She moved to California specifically because in California, it would have taken a $4,000 a month payment to $750,000 a month. So this player, I won't name him, but he said, I'm going to pay 216 payments right up front, cover all 18 years, and you deal with it from there. So Elon Musk could be handling this far worse than he is.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he wants to get the test. Like Amy said before, I heard he said, I'm willing to take the test and make sure it's mine before I really commit. But yeah, he's already given $2 million plus, and he's open to giving $500K a year. This could be way worse. You know what I mean?
Chris, move the mic because every time away from the chair. Okay. The pole, just pick it up and there you go. Because it keeps shifting. Okay. But anyway, go ahead, Amy.
Just the one thing we all need to remember as well is this whole thing was contrived. We all saw the post that Isabella Moody shared where she was literally, Ashley St. Clair was posting saying, who can give me Elon's contact? I really want to have his rocket babies. Doesn't he already have several baby mamas?
Has that been verified,
yes,
though?
Yep.
It's been verified that Ashley sent those by whom?
It was just posted. Her public tweets were available and shared.
Oh, they were. I thought they were direct messages that she sent to somebody.
No, this is tweet. She was tweeting this. She was tweeting.
I'd make a rocket baby if I could. 100%.
I mean, all of the posts are hilarious. People are posting now like, Elon, don't need 2.5 billion. Give me 1.6.
Yeah.
Like,
go on a freaking mission.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's disappointing that the spectacle, like, do it behind closed doors. This show of like, with all the stuff that's happening in the world, with all the good that this guy's doing, you're trying to make him look like he's a scumbag. You know he wasn't going to be there. By the way, he has 13 kids. It's physically impossible for him to be in their lives like how he's supposed to be. He is on a completely different mission. He's never come on and be like, yeah, I want to be a good father. And you already know the deal. Yeah, he carries around X on his shoulders, and he's, he is a father. He's a provider. He's not going to give you the time that you need. And it's like, I'm just disappointed that had to be something that we had to watch. And it's like you wanted people to feel sorry for you for what? You got money. You got bread. Like let me explain something to you. $2.5 million, Manhattan, you might blow it. Move somewhere. Take care of the freaking kid. You're good to go.
You mentioned she wanted people to feel bad for her. It completely backfired. Like, who read this and said, "Oh, this poor thing,"
No, it actually had the exact opposite effect for me. I actually was kind of on her side a little bit. I wasn't super like. Earlier, I said Elon Musk is handling everything about the situation the right way. In this scenario, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors with Ashley St. Clair and their relationship. I want to go back on what I said. I actually disagree with what I said. So I'm actually
fact-checking yourself.
Because the more you talk about being involved in the children's lives, the more I'm like, oh, Elon's not doing this the right way. Because the most important role in a child's life are their parents. And so to not be involved in any capacity is doing a disservice to the kid. So before when we covered this story, I believe when you covered this, I was hard on Elon because I'm like, you're bringing these kids into the world, but then you're not going to have an active role in their lives. That's setting them up to have a bad future. And then I watched Ashley St. Clair do this, and I went from feeling bad for her, like, oh, Elon's not responding. I didn't know she was making all that money. So I actually felt bad for Ashley St. Clair. Then I saw her go and trade the car, and I'm like, that's really weird. That makes me think differently. And then I saw Elon's tweet about the money, and I went, wow, now I'm completely 180. So basically, I'm like John Kerry. I'll flip-flop even on my own statements. But to your point, it had the exact opposite reaction of what she was intending. I look at it now, I don't like her or don't support her.
And now you made a great point, Robbie. Like talking about that point, dude, I respect the hell out of you for going back and going, wait a minute, I disagree
with me.
But and then Rob, you want to talk about, and again, I'm not judging, these are just facts, and these are the things that happens when the woke mob and a father not being there to be on top of the kid. One of his kids, the son, is transgender, and he said his son is dead.
Due to the woke mind virus.
The woke mind virus, and now that son, who pretends to be a girl, is online trashing Elon Musk. And that's what happens, bro, when you're not there, you're not involved with the kid. The woke mind mob virus grabs your kid.
You know what? This really makes me appreciate Henry Ford.
Why?
Because he didn't have any baby mamas. Like, there was no, like, ladies in the 1900s, like, putting their Ford Model T back in the factory. Yeah. So, shout out to Henry Ford. Great guy. Great American.
Great American.
Great American.
All right, guys. Good one. All right, next story. Rob, the JFK assassination files. What the hell? I heard a bunch of CIA stuff. What happened?
Did you ever hear the rumor that Thomas Edison and Henry Ford were gay together in Florida?
I have.
So there's a whole...
You got the light bulb.
There's a whole thread on the internet about... Because they had the Edison Ford estates over in Fort Myers, the other side of this coast. The two of them would travel down here every winter together, and they would spend time on the estate together. So the rumors...
There's rumors, allegedly.
In Myers, Southwest Florida, the history of Southwest Florida is that... Two of the greatest inventors in American history came down to
folklore. It's folklore.
But that's according to the internet, not me.
Wow.
Did you guys see the JFK CIA hearings that took place yesterday?
I saw minimal.
So they streamed the whole thing on X, which was really interesting. I'll start here. So this actually started on Friday of last week. Anna Paulina Luna went on Jesse Waters on Fox News, where she talked about NBC possibly having a second tape of the Kennedy assassination. We've talked about this before. There are multiple filmings of the assassination, the shooting. The only one that's ever been publicly released has been the Zapruder film. However, according to not only Anna Paulina Luna, but Oliver Stone, who also has said that this tape exists, he says that it would change the way we look at the JFK assassination altogether if we saw this tape. But according to the video, Anna Paulina Luna, this video right here from last Friday, she's on with Jesse Waters, where she says that NBC has had that second version of the assassination, and they've never released it. They've kept it hidden from the public, and she calls for its release. Here's that video.
NBC actually has a video that's never been seen before. We're actually going to be sending a letter requesting that from NBC because it allegedly shows Oswald near the vehicle when the assassination took place, which means that he couldn't have been the shooter. So again, we're tracking down all this information. But look, there's even a CIA document that came out that Mr. Morley pointed out that actually said that the CIA never bought the lone gunman theory. And so I think the American people had an inclination as to what we were saying, but we never had the hard evidence until now. And so it's important to note that in a free and fair society, how could you operate or have an agency operating in the shadows? And so kudos to President Trump, also Director Radcliffe and Tulsi Gabbard for pushing for this transparency. It is going to be generational changing that they've done this. And we hope to bring forward legislation to ensure that this never happens again for future generations to come.
You're saying NBC has been keeping this tape of Oswald under wraps?
Correct. In fact, Director Stone actually told us that he was showed this tape, that it was a secondary copy, and that he said that this could blow open the entire JFK investigation. What I will also tell you, though, Jesse, is he said that NBC has been very, very much so guarding this tape. And so I believe that that tape belongs to the American people. We are going to be sending a letter asking for that tape. And I would encourage everyone to ask NBC to release that tape to the public. It's important, not just for our investigations, but so the American people know the truth as to what happened with John F. Kennedy.
Jeez. Now, before we go any further, she mentioned a name in there, Morley. The person she's referencing is Jefferson Morley, and we'll get to him in just a second. But first, I'd like to go to the video. This is actually a photo that they say is from that second video of the assassination, in which it shows Oswald down by JFK's limo at the time that the shooting happened. So if he's down there, how can he be up inside of the book repository to fire the shots if he's already down at the ground level? Wow. Before we move on, do you guys, like, I know we've gone back and forth, but real quickly around the room, who here believes Oswald was the lone shooter? Does anyone believe that narrative?
Definitely not.
Okay, what are your opinions of the JFK assassination?
Well, who was behind it?
Yes.
I think, my opinion, that there was multiple people from, from the CIA, from foreign governments, and we all know, Israel's. By the way, the beauty about Rob, as you were showing this, I'm so happy. I mean, we're not nowhere near where we should be, but the fact that Trump released enough just for all of us to start talking and bring this to light, because bro, if you think about it, we all know something fishy happened, and whoever the hell was involved, us, them, a multitude of people, they shot and killed a sitting president. And let's just do a full stop. They murdered him in front of everybody, and then with all the cover-up and all the everything, for 70 years, was it 75 years? They told everybody, shut the hell up. All these files are going to be protected. They waited for everybody to die, and then now they're like, oh, it was you, it was him, it was them. Nobody can be held accountable, but I think we need to know. I want to know the freaking answers, Rob, because she nailed it. How we could stop it from happening again? Donald Trump was shot in the freaking head, and if I'm not mistaken, if the reporting is right or wrong, allegedly, CNN didn't, he had 94 rallies. CNN didn't live stream one of them. On that day, they live streamed that one. Why? Why pick that one in Butler, Pennsylvania? Random luck. So it scares me, Rob, that this shit could still freaking happen. And I think I think Oswald was exactly what he said he was. He was a patsy. I saw the fear in his freaking eyes. And if you read Roger Stone's book, bro, Lyndon B. Johnson, the CIA, multiple, even people that we don't know were involved with it.
Yeah.
Humberto.
My lone shooter confidence, it was at like 30%. Now I'm at the low 10s.
You still thought that with the Italian bolt action rifle and with his head. So Oswald's there, Bert. his head goes like this. You still think 30% that he got shot from over there?
No, Vinny. The thing is, there's 100 theories.
Of course.
Like, there's probably 5 to 6 main ones that have a lot of like writing on it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the part of the shooting is the interesting part. I think the part behind the shooting is the interesting part.
You think that you think he got, because remember, if you watch his Zapruder and he's doing this, that's a bullet going in here through the windshield. They're saying like this. So you're saying you don't think it was just him. I'm saying
no, I don't think it's just him. But
a couple of people.
I think he could be one of them.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know what
he
the
might
kill
have
should
been one of them.
He
might
have
have
been.
shot up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Amy?
LBJ and the CIA. The CIA killed him, and they tried to kill Trump too. 100%.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
I mean, I would say like strong 90%. Yeah, but that's
90%? Okay.
already what I felt, and then we saw some of the confirmation within the documents that we were able to see.
And we'll get to that in a second, Chris.
Yeah, I think my thought process is pretty close to Amy's thought process. As encouraged as I am by the stuff that has come out, I'm starting to have to come to terms, I think, between the Epstein stuff and the Kennedy stuff, that the people who are trying to hide this stuff are the only people who had access to it for the last 60 years. So I'm really just starting to come to terms with the fact that we're probably never going to know what we thought and hoped we would. And anything we get out of it at this point, I'll take with it.
I think we could.
You think if you were the only person, or this group in here were the ones who could be harmed by this material, but we're the only ones who's had the access to the material for the last 60 years. If it came out in 60, you believe that nothing, everything's going to be up to snuff, nothing's going to be disappeared.
The thing is, like, if anyone here thought that the documents were going to be released and there was going to be a shopping list of why they did it, who they did it, how they did it, how much they did it, you're lost. But there's so many documents that just missing parts of the documents, the wording on some documents, with enough time and enough people like looking at it, we might get something.
And I agree with that. That's what I told my son, because my son is very fascinated with the JFK assassination as well. And one of the things we were talking about, I said, buddy, you got to understand, it's not like the CIA wrote down in a memo, today we killed President Kennedy. Then we had fish sticks. Like, it's not like it was written down and tracked like that, but the evidence to lead us to our own assumptions to say who did it without actually doing it, I think we're going to get.
But that's my thought process, though. You're saying that they're leaving specific points out. You think the further we get from everything, the clearer picture we're going to be able to paint? As we get further away from the people who did it and the acts that took place, you think somehow we'll be able to kind of paint a clearer picture?
The only way we won't find out, the only way I don't think we find out definitively who did it is if it was a foreign government, because then there will be calls for some type of action taken against the government. If it's a bunch of dudes that are dead from the CIA, then yeah, well, name them. Who cares at this point? Their family's going to be embarrassed that, yeah, my pap, he ended up killing Kennedy. But like, if it was, and I'm
Russia
let's say,
and
yeah,
Israel?
Afghanistan came out,
Or
we
anybody.
did it. Well, guess what? We're going to war.
Yeah.
So, okay, you brought up CIA. We're all kind of know that the CIA was at least involved, or I'm sorry, at least knew at the minimum, at a maximum, helped orchestrate and carry out the killing. Jefferson Morley is an investigative reporter who has written a ton of books on JFK. He is very well researched, and he was mentioned by Anna Paulina Luna in that clip talking about the NBC tape. Here's what he tweeted after Anna Paulina Luna was on Fox News with Jesse Waters. Jefferson Morley writes on X on March 30th, when Representative Luna asked me about the film after talking to Waters, I told her it is not a secret. It is not a definitive piece of evidence. It is not important to the JFK research community. I advised her to drop it. I hope NBC will someday clear the air by making available a high-res scan of the original Darnell and Wegman films. But NBC is not hiding anything. Gerald Posner is right about this. In my testimony to the House Talk on Tuesday, which we'll get to, this happened yesterday, I will be talking about and sharing for the very first time a rather more important new JFK evidence to emerge: the CIA's complete pre-assassination file on Lee Harvey Oswald. It was not fully disclosed until 2023. In conjunction with documents released last month, the Oswald file points to CIA complicity. I will explain on Tuesday. And Jefferson Morley then goes on to link, or somebody linked in the comments, if you could show the next slide, please, his Substack account. This Substack was published on November 21st. Before JFK's death, the CIA compiled an 181-page dossier on Lee Harvey Oswald. The 181-page file on Lee Harvey Oswald was compiled by the CIA before the Kennedy assassination. So the whole we didn't know who Oswald was until the assassination happened, that theory is gone out the window because of this 181 pages of intel that they gathered on Oswald. Now, you got to ask yourself, why would the government, the greatest and most powerful government on the face of the planet, even back in the 60s, we were stronger than Russia, right? Soviet Union collapsed. America still stands. Why would the strongest government in the world have an investigation into some just Russian guy?
Yeah.
Why would they have 181 pages on Oswald unless they knew something was going to happen?
So, ready for this? I knew something was going to happen. Brainwashed, MK Ultra, we don't know. And then all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, I'm a patsy? It's obvious, Rob. It's so freaking obvious.
That's where I'm going. That's a very good question, all right? Because then again, no shopping list. But then when you see the volume of research on some things, like especially Oswald, like they even have his visa. Are you going there?
I don't have, no, go ahead.
They're going, they went through the papers for his visa application for the Soviet Union that was rejected. And in there, they have the letter of the visa agent. Terrible grammar, by the way, because he's Russian. And they have the letter in there. So you have all these pages. Just by counting the pages on the things that they're covering, you get new leads. You go like, oh, okay, why there's 180 pages on this? Why there's no mentions of this other thing? You know, I don't know.
Pretty freaking sus.
35 CIA officials were involved in handling intelligence reports on Oswald. This is according to Jefferson Morley's Substack, while JFK was still alive, indicating significant agency interest in Oswald prior to the assassination. So that leads us to yesterday. This was released on Monday. This is the press release from the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, where it talks about them having the classified hearings. And we're going to play a few clips quickly of the hearings. One of the people that were in attendance, a former guest of the show, two-time guest, which is rare for PBD Podcast. Yeah. We only have you back if we like you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't come back twice. And he has an open invite because every time he comes, it's excellent. Academy Award-winning director Oliver Stone, who filmed the JFK movie from 1991.
One of my favorite movies. I've seen it 50 times.
Me too. And
no
it's such a great movie. You can just turn it on, and it's 3.5 hours of just, I can zone out and just pay attention to this because it's so well done.
Amazing.
Oliver Stone appeared in front of the committee to call for the reopening of the JFK assassination. Here he is yesterday in front of Congress.
I asked the committee.
I'm sorry, in front of the committee.
To reopen what the Warren Commission failed miserably to complete. I ask you in good faith, outside all political considerations, to reinvestigate the assassination of this President Kennedy from the scene of the crime to the courtroom, which means, which never happened, but which means the chain of custody on the rifle, the bullets, the fingerprints, the autopsy that defies belief, and that if it were a murder, we'd have given to the poorest man dying in a gutter.
Emotional.
Let us reinvestigate the fingerprints of intelligence all over Lee Harvey Oswald from 1959 to 1960, his violent death in 1963. And most importantly, this CIA, whose muddy footprints are all over this case, a true interrogation.
Dude, you saw me almost get emotional right there?
Yes, and by the way, Lauren Boebert, that is Oliver Stone, not Roger Stone. That was a mistake that happened yesterday.
Lauren Boebert, that was the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
Speaking of hotties, let's go to the next clip. Nancy Mace also was at the hearing, and she asked Jefferson Morley, who testified at the hearing, about what the CIA knew about Oswald and if Jefferson Morley, one of the most well-read researchers when it comes to the assassination of JFK, if he believes that Oswald was the lone gunman. If we could play that clip real quick.
Questions, Mr. Morley, I want to start with you first. You said,
you put the volume up?
Testimony, in asking what did the CIA know and when did they know it? What do you think that is? What is the answer to that question?
I just want to say, I want to preface my remarks by saying I'm a liberal Democrat, and I don't shy away from that. That's part of my reporting, and that's part of my reputation for straight shooting. What did the CIA know about Lee Harvey Oswald, and when did they know it? Mm-hmm. A whole lot. 198 pages worth of information were on the CIA's desk when President Kennedy left for Dallas. So that foundational fact should guide us in understanding what happened.
So who do you think fired the shot?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald?
Oswald was not the intellectual author of Kennedy's death, even if he fired a gun that day.
Who do you think was the intellectual author of Kennedy's death?
Kennedy's enemies high in his own government is as specific as I can be based on the available evidence.
Wow.
Probably CIA and Pentagon.
How long had the CIA been surveying Lee Harvey Oswald before the assassination attempt?
4 years.
Jeez.
I would like to just remind you of something. So you hear this, that they had been tracking Oswald for 4 years.
4 years.
Do you know that the United States government, specifically the CIA, had intelligence on Osama bin Laden in the mid-90s leading up to the 2001 September 11th attacks? In fact, in 1999, the CIA prepared a plan to capture or kill bin Laden in Afghanistan, though it was aborted due to a coup in Pakistan. In 2000, the agency had tracked bin Laden's movements enough to attempt an attack on bin Laden, with foreign operatives firing a rocket-propelled grenade at his convoy in Afghanistan, but they missed his vehicle. In 2000, CIA operatives monitored 2 known al-Qaeda members who later became 9/11 hijackers, Khalid al-Mindar and Nawaf al-Hazmi, as they attended a meeting in Malaysia. The CIA discovered Mindar had a valid U.S. visa but failed to fully share this with the FBI, missing an opportunity to prevent the most devastating terrorist attack that's ever happened on United States soil. And let's not forget, August 6th of 2001, the CIA delivered a presidential daily briefing to President George W. Bush entitled, and I quote, "Bin Laden determined to strike in the U.S." And yet the CIA happened to miss that one too. So isn't it odd that the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, intelligence is the key word in that. They're gathering intelligence on people who then go on to commit, according to them, heinous crimes against the American people or American officials. And then the CIA goes, well, sorry, missed that one.
Yeah, again, I missed another one.
Yeah, so, never forget.
Wow.
So it makes people, great point, Rob. It makes people then question, what is your guy? And I get it. And I hate when people are like, well, we need the CIA because they kill people. Okay, good. They're doing that. But when they're involved, and like he said, their muddy freaking hands are all over the assassination of a sitting president. You killed our king. It's game over. All right? And how many more times of this, they dropped the ball. FBI drops the ball. CIA knew. We had them under this. And then it happens. Everybody gets mad, and then we're on to something else. It's the accountability factor that is lacking, drives me fucking through the roof, bro. Through the roof. Because no matter what, justice has to be done. How many times have we talked about it? If everything falls, if we collapse, I don't care. Give me the truth. Because I want to know what the hell we built the foundation on. All these people, all this Epstein, all this JFK, all this Gulf of Tonkin, 9/11. How much more shit are we going to sit there and be like, yo, these people despise us, bro. And they're willing to do anything to get the money, to get into the wars that they want to do. And we can't do shit about it.
Author Richard North Patterson wrote, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And it seems like it rhymes when it comes to the assassinations of United States presidents or officials. Look at RFK, look at MLK. Saran says he doesn't remember firing the shots. RFK, the guy whose father was killed by Saran, went and met with him in prison and walked away going, I don't think the guy killed my father.
Wow.
Like, okay.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yep, okay, we'll just believe the narrative that the CIA didn't do it.
It's been fascinating, all right? For example, I've been reading the documents myself, and I don't know, have you read any of them?
No, the ones that have been highlighted on Twitter, and they're like, you want to read this one out of the 80,000, yes.
I'm going in order, right?
I applaud you. 30. I read 30 or 40 pages.
But
I'm not 80,000.
I don't know, little things that I've been learning how to read intelligence documents. Like, for example, they all have a number on top, all right? And the first 3 numbers, first 3 digits, is the agency that wrote the document.
Okay.
All right. So all the documents that are 104, those are CIA. Because the thing is, it's like reading the Bible because it's not straight, narrative.
You have to jump around.
You jump around, and these conversations they're having. All right. So if you get a document with a 104, that it's a CIA talking to another agency. If you get 124, it's the FBI replying to what they're saying.
Oh man.
So it's very confusing, you know.
But
on purpose.
But it's entertaining. I'm loving it. I mean, you know, might as well enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, one thing that I actually found through them that I haven't seen much attention given that you might find interesting is 10 days before the assassination, he actually asked to be briefed on UFOs and aliens as well. Did you see that?
Yes, I've seen that, and then there's always, it goes back to him wanting Israel to register as a foreign agent. That was also out there as well. To what the question you asked earlier, I think that we will eventually find out who did it, but I don't think it's going to be as black and white as page 16. Yep, Lyndon B. Johnson said it. I think it's going to be a series of people like Humberto who are actually taking the time. Thank you for doing that.
Seriously.
Because the American people, I don't have the intellect to do it, the patience to do it, or the time to do it. And I know that you don't have the time to do it, but for you to have the patience to sit there and do that, kudos to you, because it's people like you that are highlighting some of this information that has been buried, that's making its way to people so that we can learn about Gary Underhill, the CIA agent that went to a friend's house in Jersey right after the assassination and said that he knew that the CIA did it, and it was a small select group of people within the government that killed Kennedy, and he feared for his life, and then he ends up suicide a month later. So props to you for doing that.
This needs to be crowdsourced. Like, I don't know. I love a good puzzle. We were sitting yesterday at lunch, right, Vinnie?
Yeah.
And there was a picture at the Halal Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Tremendous restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And we were wondering how old the picture was. Yeah. And then I started looking at the picture. I go like, okay, she's holding an iPhone. What iPhone is it?
iPhone generation?
He did the research and we found out the year.
The year that the picture
year.
was taken.
Yeah.
Like, every time you give me a good puzzle, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
He's
a
great detective. I will say this for
All right,
sure.
well, sick.
Oh, there's one final clip. We can skip it, though, because it's just them asking, again, Jefferson Morley, who he thinks shot the shot, and he says he does not believe that it was Oswald, or he believes Oswald, again, may have fired a gun that day, but there was a group of actors that did this, and he says it was high up in Kennedy's government.
Look at how, by the way, look how great this plan is. If this is how it went down. You get this guy, he defected, Russia, comes here, you set him up, you make him go into this building and you have him just hang out there. You all kill and do what you're going to do. He's like, wait a minute. Oh, shit, am I involved? Oh, my God. He tries to run. A cop approaches him. He shoots the cop. And then you're getting walked like a sacrificial lamb in the basement of the Dallas Police Department. And Jack Rubenstein walks up to you, shoots you in the stomach, case closed, end of story. All you have to do is promise Jack Rubenstein something like, hey, listen, we'll take care of your family. You'll never have to pay for anything. Just keep your ass in jail. You're the guy. You're the fall guy, plain and simple. Then you have somebody named Jolly West come in there, a CIA psychiatrist, like during Marilyn Manson and all those days. Dude, they would give him LSD and just brainwash the shit out of everybody. He went in there and talked to him for a couple hours, and the guy lost his mind. Bro, the tactics of these people, was it Ephesians that said this isn't a battle between flesh and blood? It's about principalities. Mm-hmm. It's about evil.
Good verse,
and
evil.
I say demons and evil, and people think I'm joking. This is what you're up against. So, and what were we listening to on the way to go get Starbucks today? Listening to on audio.
Yeah, we're listening to the Bible.
We're listening to James and talking about, I'm not joking, Rob. It's like, get your ass ready because he's going to come like a thief in the night. Make sure your soul is good and stay away from these people. They're running this show. But there's only one person. That God's plan is the plan, and that's all it's going to be, bro. And that's it. You good, Robbie?
I am. Thank you. I didn't know you jump around when you read the Bible.
I read the Bible in a year. The Bible app. It's the Holy Bible app. But when in the car, I go, you know who's has a really good portion? It's James. And he just, right off the bat, James is like, my brothers and sisters, do this, don't do this, love each other, watch your tongue, don't swear to God. It's like a basic, if you want just a basic way of how to live your life, go listen to James on a Bible app. It's freaking amazing. It's amazing, and it'll make you feel like, okay, it's almost like an instruction course on how to live your life, and it'll take you 5 minutes. It's the best thing that you're going to do all day.
We went to Starbucks and back.
Starbucks and back?
And that's
it.
it.
I know not to say I swear to him. All right, next story. Chris, talking about men that are still trying to compete in women's sports.
Yeah,
great.
Man. Yeah, you hit on it earlier, man. Back to a woke classic. We just cannot get past it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
We can't.
No, every time you think it's over, they just bring it back another way.
It has, before you get into it and start to interrupt, it has decreased substantially.
Yes.
Do you remember if you even said something about trans or like transphobic, shut up? when there's a different president, when there's a different boss, it's like, bro, keep that shit. I feel bad for them. What do we say in the car? We have to pray for these people, not just pat them on the back and be like, yeah, live in your delusional world. No, they need freaking help. They're screaming for help.
Well, as you're going to see, yeah, we've put the right people in the right places to make this happen, but there are still some old obstacles making it hard to get past it, right? So as we know, and I think we all support fully, one of President Trump's first orders of business getting back into office was to sign an executive order and address men and women's sports, which he did immediately. We have a clip for that. It's actually a really cool clip. It's
I love this
we can
clip.
play that. We can play that.
So
guys.
wholesome. I love it.
Yeah, this was a great clip.
Watch the signature.
Watch what I do.
Watch what I do. I didn't realize
So-
What a nice picture.
Look at this.
Huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good
Look at
job.
this.
Wait,
Oh,
let
look,
me
he's
press
making sure
that.
it's good. Joe Biden would have sniffed every single one of those kids.
Oh my God.
He would have.
I want to make this a really
Dude,
good
look, I love-
signature. Because this is, this is a big one, right?
Dude, look at this. Dude, that signature takes, watch.
Oh, I think we have a 10.
It's amazing.
We have a 10.
Writing his own signature. I love it.
And it's amazing because the pen never leaves the paper. Somehow he continues the flow without, and it's two different names. It's a thing of art, to be
I
honest
love
with
it.
you. And I voted for Biden in 2020, and
It's
I love
okay.
watching that.
I mean,
Not
well,
this
his son
time.
has really good art. But yeah, that's art.
All right, so this clip is the best. He's surrounded by young female athletes. A friend of ours, Riley Gaines, was there. It wound up being a huge clip. But at the same time, another big clip, if you remember from a couple of months ago, was Maine Governor Janet Mills. And she went pretty viral as she refused to comply with Trump's ban, leading to this exchange. And this one got a lot of
I love
press.
this one, too.
Donald
favorite.
Trump laid it down on this one. So if we can run that real quick, Governor Mills.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with the state and federal laws.
We are the federal law.
Oh.
Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should
Well,
be a
wait,
real easy one.
she's folded, right? She's folded.
Right. So we're going to get to there. So this was pretty awesome. So
Let him
Cook out
cook.
my bag.
But it's the best because you don't get a chance to like see how the recipe's made all the time, right? You hear about these exchanges, but to be able to see them is pretty awesome. Now, Governor Janet Mills, let's tell you a little bit more about her. Who is she? We're going to give you some clarity. So first of all, we've got a photo of Governor Mills. This is her for anyone who's not familiar. Obviously, she seems to fall in line with the agenda.
Yep.
And then
That's exactly what you call it.
And then we have a clip sort of kind of giving us a better feel for what
Elon.
Governor
I thought somebody put a Dennis. Can you go back to that? It looks like Elon with a Dennis
my
Menace
gosh.
like wig on. I'm
Drunk.
sorry.
He's been drinking.
I thought that was a joke. I apologize.
No, that
all
was the
good.
real thing.
That's a
Yesterday,
shocker.
you might have had a worry, not today.
That's a
But
shocker.
and then Janet Mills. Obviously, this is this is a clip of Janet Mills at a drag queen show, doing what people like Janet Mills do. If we can run that.
What is that really? Her? That's her.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, she's down.
All right, so I mean, we can stop it there. So this was in February, right? And where does that leave us now? So as of March 21st, Maine state-funded schools backed down and, like Vinnie said, agreed to comply with President Trump's ban, which unfortunately made Governor Mills look like she often looks pretty terrible. Because when she comes out and she's the leadership of your state saying we will not comply, blah, 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 and then the state decides to back down, obviously, what does that tell you about the strength in her leadership? Obviously nothing. So you might think that this was the end of it, but you would be wrong. Because as of yesterday, Governor Mills has yet to back down. And now, old favorite, Linda McMahon. We all know Linda McMahon, right? Mm-hmm. She's the Secretary of Education, and this prompted her to issue a final warning threatening to cut off federal funds. And we have Secretary McMahon's warning right here. Yesterday, we issued a final warning letter to Maine's Department of Education for ongoing refusal to comply with Title IX. Complying with Title IX is not difficult. We will ensure federal funds no longer support illegal practices that harm women.
Bro,
and girls.
the people in her district and her constituents, they're probably banging down her door and calling every 5 minutes, like, listen, change your dumb ass point of view. Like, dude, I'm still boggled of how we let this small minority group take over. And I get it. I know from what she is and what she looks like and what she's supporting, how these people are just completely gone. But boys and girls are different. Me and her competing in the same sport is not fair. It's not freaking fair. And the fact that we're still playing this freaking game is unbelievable to me. I don't understand, Rob.
Well, and it's also a danger to the women. Look at the videos, and they're out there of trans athletes, like the volleyball player that suffered a concussion because she got spiked in the face
her eyes messed
with
up.
a volleyball by a transgender person.
A dude.
Sure. It's just not even an issue of if it's fair or not. Clearly, it's not. But at what point, when you don't protect women, are you putting them at risk for what? For the moral high ground to say that you're for equal rights, but then you're not for equal rights because you're not for women being able to be protected when they're competing against other equal women.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, there's people even within the trans community who are calling out this entire thing and saying that it shouldn't be the case. And they're being called Buck Angel, Blair White. There's plenty of them. Chloe calls them detransitioners, but what's so crazy about this whole thing is, like, a trans person will literally get called transphobic for holding that opinion. How is a trans person going to be transphobic? It makes no sense.
Oh yeah, so when they call a black person or like a Jewish person that's like anti some of the things that another government's doing, and they're like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. Like, I'm Jewish.
Right.
I'm a Syrian too.
Candace Owens, notorious white supremacist.
Yeah,
right?
give me. Oh man.
Yeah, it's absurd. And then, but the crazy thing you're seeing over the last couple of years is even the LGBT community is starting to really get fed up with the T's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they sort of go against everything that the lesbian, gay, and LGBT community has been fighting to. Any progress they've fought to make in the last bunch of years has kind of been like rescinded.
It's
now
a tease. They're just, dude. And you know what sucks? For the actual L's and the gays and you know what I mean? Like, I have friends and family that are.
Yeah.
And it's like the amount of stuff that they had to go through to get to, was it your uncle? Humberto?
Yeah.
Humberto's uncle, my cousins. Is like, bro, if the plight of getting to where they got to, and then this
to be left alone. That was the whole point, to be left alone.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
And then these people are just coming out of the woodwork like, no, you have to call me this because, no, oh my God.
Right.
It drives me bananas.
And with my background, I know you guys know, but not everybody knows. Like, I work with athletes all the time. So I'm probably as in tune as anybody with the difference in them. I have some killer girls, like girls that could beat some really bad boys in speed and not often strength, but I'll have a 17-year-old All-American girl and an average boy, and it's just, there is no comparison, unfortunately.
She's nasty.
They could both be incredible for their division or their ages, but there must be divisions and ages because there is clear differences. And we've gone through this a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we had a male and female division in the first place. Ever since the dawn of time. It's only until about like 10 seconds ago that people were like, actually, this is unfair.
It's so weird how it's changed since... this is going to make us sound old.
I am.
What year did you graduate high school?
1996.
Okay. Whew. Okay, sorry.
Hey, kiss my ass.
Sorry.
Did you have an asthma attack?
I'm sorry, yes, because I'm fat. 2004, I graduated. But even then, the only kids, and please don't think that I'm like homophobic by saying this. I'm not. We had two guys that were in our crew that we suspected of being gay, but even they had beards in high school. They didn't talk about it. They came out later in life and they've lived their authentic lives, and I'm happy for them. It doesn't change my opinion. But when I was growing up, it was something that was almost hidden. And now it's become something that's been celebrated to an extreme where it's like, if you don't accept this celebration, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like, whoa, bro, I like parades too, but I don't want to watch people deep throating dildos while it's going on. And like, sorry, that small segment of that community, of the LGBT community, the T's, I feel like the small, because it's not every trans person. Right. There are trans people out there that, okay, they feel this way. That's their authentic life.
That's fine.
And there are ones like Buck Angel who are like, no, I look like a guy. I'm going to use the men's room. Or I'm, whatever the case may be. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a small minority of a small minority of society that we're listening to, that we cater to, that we play to, and all of a sudden it becomes the rules for not the entire majority. It's such a small group of people that are acting weird about this thing, but then we're the weirdos, according to everybody, for talking about it and going, that's weird to us.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, okay? Can we just say that things are weird today?
It's weird.
And it's become a social contagion. You know, you look, the days of Buck Angel, he was one of the first people to do a successful female to male transition. And back then, you actually needed to live as the opposite gender and socially transition before you were allowed to do any hormones, any surgeries. I believe it was for like a year. So I think the issue, I completely agree with what you're saying, Rob. It's a minority of a minority. And where that issue really started to take place was when they removed gender dysphoria from the DSM and started allow people to self-identify as these things. It's all the people self-identifying
Do you know
that are
when
the
that
issues.
was? Like what year?
Let me look. I think it was in the 2000s
While
when
she's
was...
looking for that, it's just horrifying. Tucker just did an interview with this pilot lady. She was a badass pilot lady captain. She's furious about women flying planes, but she's a airline.
She's a pilot.
But she said they've removed, part of removing this is so trans people can fly planes.
2013, with the release of DSM-5, the diagnosis was renamed to gender dysphoria.
Because pilots are not allowed to have mental illnesses.
Well, look,
That makes sense.
I guess if there's a good part of this, it's that Governor Mills is drowning in problems in Maine already. Maine CDC already laid off workers due to $91 million in terminated federal funds.
Almost $100 million.
So we are starting to see the residual effects of some of these
it sucks
ridiculous
for those
decisions.
workers,
It
though, right?
definitely
Like,
does.
Because of your stupid ass leader.
But right, and that's the thing, right? We've seen this forever where the rules hurt the people, but the people keep on voting for the bad people. So
Right.
we're going to hope that this one changes. And I guess just a quick follow-up on the OG trans athlete for anyone wondering. Leah, a.k.a. Will Thomas.
Will, what up,
As
dog?
we see on
William.
the screen here, the number 554th ranked male swimmer and number 1 women's swimmer vows to continue the fight. And we have an article here where Leah Thomas is still mad and as delusional as ever, and we will follow up on that for sure.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah, what do you got?
Chris, you would probably know more than anybody, but Rob, I want all you guys' opinion. How far you think we are from having like just a transgender league where you could bring your boobs, your crotch, your balls, whatever you want to bring. You guys have your own thing. Go over there, boys, do whatever the hell you guys want. Boys and girls and boys and have that. Like when is that going to happen? Because they're trying to infiltrate regular people's sports. Like it's just, obviously it's not fair to the women. It's not fair to anybody because it's like the girl that I just talked about that took a knee. Like I wouldn't put the fact that people are even every single person, even what's Riley Gaines? She should have been like, no, none of us are going to compete.
So here's why I tell you, here's why I think that'll never happen. Because I think so much of why they transition is their own insecurity and their own inability to deal with being bad. So like the 554th ranked male swimmer transitioned so he could see some success in his life.
Lazy
I think if
scumbag.
the entirety of the group decides to make their own league, then they're going to kind of fall back to the mean again, and nobody's going to be great anymore.
But it would be fun to
I was
watch.
going to say it would be
Well, what has
so
to happen is-
entertaining.
this is what has to happen. This is what has to happen.
hilarious.
We have to find like the one conservative with the biggest stones in the world who plays in the NBA or plays in one of these leagues and says, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to make the jump over to the WNBA.
Like Juwanna Man.
And Juwanna
Did you ever
Man.
see that
Exactly.
movie?
Exactly.
Oh, of course.
And go get like a Jokic triple-double from last night.
my
It needs to be
goodness.
60, 20, 20 every night. And just let everyone see, like, all right, there's definitely something different here. You know?
It's ridiculous.
Right.
That's a great idea.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Like LeBron or somebody. LeBron's career is kind of.
And I think we're like a couple of years ago that would be unimaginable. I think there's someone crazy enough. Now we're probably a couple of years away, obviously, before someone even stands up to do that. But I think there's someone crazy enough who'll do it at some point to prove a point, who believes enough and is willing to give up their career at some point.
Rodman, he will do it.
Rodman,
A Rodman type, a Draymond Green type, someone who
Draymond would be
who
hilarious.
doesn't conform, who really believes in what. Like, look, you look at a guy, and it's completely different, obviously, but a guy like Pat Tillman, who was willing to give up everything
to go
for a
fight.
cause.
Yeah.
If you believe enough of this, like you get a guy whose little brother maybe or something got woke mind virus and says, "All right, I can't do this no more. I'm going to go over and make a difference." It might take something crazy like that, but
I think it would work though.
I mean, come on. Like the thing is that I never engaged with this problem because I think female sports, they suck. I don't care about it. I feel a little bit bad about girls that might get a scholarship, to get taken that away from them. But it's such women's sport. Is such
the numbers don't lie. I mean, when you look at the most major of women's professional sports, the WNBA, we've talked about this on the PBD podcast every year over year. It's never made a
$40
profit.
million.
So it's not just
that was this year their best year.
And that's not just your opinion.
This
it's
is
the
a market
market's opinion. And so the market says no interest.
I love like women's chess. Women's, tennis, something that's
women's volleyball.
I mean, we were talking before the show started about like Bethany Hamilton. She's a world famous surfer, and her story is absolutely incredible. I feel like there's a lot of stories, just individual stories that people get attached to.
Okay, her story is incredible, but she's never been a good surfer.
What do you mean? She wins competitions. What are you talking about?
She doesn't sell a single Billabong T-shirt. Like
I bet she certainly has.
She sold a bunch of Roxy stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
I was very into surfing. I watch every single surf movie. There's surf parts that I have ingrained in my brain, but I can't remember a single video part by her. Wow. A single one.
Look, at the end of the day, though, I think we love things being done at the highest level. We 100%. Love greatness. And the thing is not that the girls are so bad, but it's once you see a guy do something on a 10-foot hoop and dunk or do
Kelly
something
Slater
explosive.
Was doing backflips. Come on.
That's why Caitlin Clark has had some success, is because if you look at like the numbers, she's shooting the same length 3 as the men are. Yeah. And that's why she does it with a little flair, and she's changed the game. Yeah. But the majority of them aren't able to do that, and that's where we find trouble with it.
ESPN said that she is, one of the ESPN anchors said that Caitlin Clark is successful because she's white and from middle America.
Yes. Okay. That was Monica McNutt.
Guess what? She's just nasty.
Like
anyway.
J.D. Vance.
Yeah, but she said some stupid, yeah, but she made some dumb comments, so I'm done with her. Okay, and we'll get into that later. Anyway, Amy, Virginia Giuffre. What happened? I saw this that she got rear-ended or something.
So, yes, Virginia Giuffre, a name synonymous with the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, is back in the news, and this is a really, really weird story. So I'm just going to bring you through everything as it stands, as it was reported, and then we'll talk about some of the inconsistencies a little bit later on. But so basically, on March 30th, 2025, she took to Instagram, and we can go ahead and display this post here. And it says, long story short, she just says, it's been a really, really difficult year. I'm not sure if we could zoom in a little bit so we could read that a little closer at all.
Oh, good.
Yes, there we go. So essentially saying that she was hit by a school bus driving 110 kilometers per hour. She's using kilometers because she does live in Australia
like 68,
now.
70,
close to 70 kilometers per hour.
70 miles.
Correct. I've gone into kidney renal failure. They've given me 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies. And she basically just thanks people for being so supportive of her. Now, for anyone who is not familiar with her story, she's lived a pretty dark life. She was born in California in 1983, supposedly faced abuse from a very, very young age, and she ran away from home as a teenager. At the age of 16, she found herself working at Mar-a-Lago, and that's where she first came into contact with Ghislaine Maxwell, who from there lured her into Epstein's world. And that is also where she was introduced to Prince Andrew as well. And as we know, there was a lawsuit that she settled with him in 2021 where she claimed some very, very heinous things about him and essentially implicated him as one of Epstein's clients, right? So let's go ahead and play this video where she talks a little bit about that experience with Prince Andrew.
I was so young. Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. Jeez. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, and Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house.
And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein.
Wow.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
How old was she?
At the time, she was 16 when she met them. Yeah, so she was underage. Right now, she's 41 years old. She moved out to Western Australia, where she's gone on to raise 3 children. Reportedly settled a lawsuit with Prince Andrew back in 2021 worth millions. However, he denies it. That anything ever settled, including his ex-girlfriend, Lady Victoria. Did you guys see anything that she was posting the last couple of days?
Oh, yeah, I saw something negative.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and pull this up. She is essentially sharing Virginia's image here with the word comma.
Wow.
She also makes another post basically just saying, that when you lie, what goes around comes around. She's not even, with Prince Andrew anymore, so I'm not sure why she's going to bat for him so hard or what the obligation is there. But guys, there's been some really, really mysterious and strange things about this case.
Okay.
One of them, a lot of people were very quick to bring up the point that most school buses do not actually go 70 kilometers per hour, or rather they can. However, they're fitted with a system that most oftentimes prevents them from going above 50
It's like a governor.
to
They
60.
put a governor on it that lowers the
Exactly.
You go past, like go-karts. They don't let them go.
All the way,
They can go fast, but they make them go like if you're going like in a track or something.
Exactly. So that was the first suspicious thing. And then secondly, we've also had reports from the Australian Police Department that directly contradict her story as well. So we're going to play a little clip from that here. And then I want to get your guys' thoughts, because this just seems so strange that right as all of this is coming back into the news cycle, we're talking about the release of documents, all of this stuff is happening. Now, all of a sudden, someone who was what could have been a very reliable witness testimony, someone who was directly involved, has days to live. Something just doesn't add up
She's
here.
the only, well, if you think about it, who, out of all the potential thousands and thousands of victims, I mean, Ghislaine's the only one, Epstein suicide himself. She's in jail. All the customers, all the victims, I think Virginia's the only one that we've actually seen come forward. And then Prince Andrew, what was his punishment?
A slap in the wrist.
He was like kicked out
Revoked from royal family duties.
He couldn't speak on royal family. Like, do you understand? Like, think about that. You allegedly slept and hooked up with an underage girl, and the queen and the royal family go, hey, you're not going to be in public. Go hide in a room.
Wasn't his defense like, I couldn't sweat? So, like, she was claiming that he said Virginia Giuffre, I believe, is the woman that claimed this, that she was, because she's the only one that's accused the prince that we know of. She said that he was sweating on her at the club that night, and then he's like, he did this weird BBC News article or interview where he's like, I had a condition in which I could not sweat.
Oh,
and then he knew exactly where he was on the day she alleged they had sex. He was like, I was at a children's birthday party at some random pizzeria in the middle of England or whatever.
It was like, it wasn't comment?
No, and then that's why he got sent. Whatever they did to him, the royal family, it was because of that interview, because they told him to shut up, don't talk.
Yeah,
and then he went, he's like, no, I'm going to talk to the BBC. And the royal family got pissed, and then they punished him.
Made him look so much worse.
So
So yeah,
who's
let's
this,
go.
Amy?
Let's play this. This is someone from the it's the acting police commissioner. We can see there
Kylie
by the
Whitley?
title. Yeah, and she's going to break down some of
Whiteley,
the
sorry.
inconsistencies with the story.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
I do know there was an accident on the 24th of March. It was a bus with another vehicle.
And was there any passengers on the bus at the time? Are you aware?
I'm not aware of passengers on the bus, but certainly the bus driver reported it as he was required to do and in the right timeframes. And I'm advised there was about $2,000 damage in the vehicle, not aware of any injuries.
Now, separately, a spokesperson for the East Metropolitan Health Service has told Australian media that Miss Giuffre is not at any of their facilities. Virginia Giuffre sued Prince Andrew with allegations of sexually assaulting her when she was 17 years old. She claimed to have been trafficked by convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, who was a friend of the Duke of York. Now, Prince Andrew has always denied the allegations of sexual assault, and he did settle the case out of court, with the Prince paying Miss Giuffre an undisclosed sum. Okay, Ellie Pitt, thank you.
So, yeah, a couple of things there. They're saying that her, number one, the accident wasn't going as fast as what they claimed, that her injuries don't seem to be consistent with what she's described, or the fact that she may possibly be dead in 4 days. We've also seen people speak out on X and say that kidney failure is treatable with dialysis. Medicare pays for it. So the fact that she's gone out and brazenly saying, or blatantly saying, I only have 4 days left to live, it's a little bit suspicious. We've also heard that her family has said that she didn't mean to post that publicly. She meant to post it on a private page, and she may have possibly misspoke. There's just a lot of weird things going on around this story right now. So I want to know, what do you guys make of it?
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I just thought the wording that in that last sentence you said is odd. Like, I don't know the normal, lifespan they give you, but I've heard, like, I give you a month. She could go any day. 4 days is weird. You know, it's like
a weird number.
That's just a weird choice for me. It's not like you got 6
16
months.
hours and 4 minutes. You're going to
just
take the bucket.
an oddly specific
You have 96 hours to live. That's a weird number to just
and I'm starting it now. It's just with the timing of this is very, very, very suspicious. I want to know, like, the facts of, like, the bus driver. No kids were in there. This person
no
was
reports
driving.
of injuries on the report.
And they're saying that they don't know where she's been checked in, or where
they're saying that they checked in with the hospitals that would be in that region, and none of them have, heard they're consistent with the injuries that she's claiming.
I mean, listen, and has anybody heard from her since?
So what I heard was similar reports to what you stated. The family came out and said that she misspoke. So, like, she's not dying in 4 days. I don't know. It's the whole thing. You're right. I really didn't connect. That's so odd that I didn't even put that together. Maybe because I'm dumb.
You're not dumb.
No, but think about it.
Andy, stay out of this. He's dumb as shit.
Yeah, I am. I disagree with me. I said that earlier. No, the fact that this is happening as the Epstein file. We're sitting here waiting for the Epstein files to come, and then the woman that's accusing a prince gets hit by a bus and then ends up on a hospital bed and says she has 4 days to live. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I just went back to scrolling and reading about Trump tariffs.
And what's crazy is...
But the timing is so bizarre that it happens now.
And who knows who the driver is, and who knows... Guys... Who knows? It's just the odds. I mean, I get it. Stuff happens to people. I understand. But the one girl that's in question for this to happen now, it's very, very weird.
All right, so she has spoken out before. She's done interviews. She's been all over the place. Wouldn't she have named all the names that she has? So what is there to silence her for? It's the other people that we don't know about, the victims that are out there that have never gone public or have been threatened and are scared to go public. Those are the people that get hit by buses. Yeah. Right. You don't have to silence somebody who's already had the platform to speak to everybody. So why try and silence her now?
Good question.
If that's what's happening.
All right. Her dad, Sky Roberts, just spoke on it, and he said she's going to be okay.
The father? Sky Roberts is her dad's name?
Yeah.
Oh, so Giuffre is what? Her husband's?
Yeah.
She's married?
Yeah.
Wait, so she went from being dead in 4 days to okay?
April 2nd, right now on the
when did this come out? Was this an April Fool's joke, or did this happen Monday?
This happened today, right now.
No,
the actual story.
When did the actual story from Virginia Giuffre happen?
3 days ago, so it would have been the 30th.
Okay.
It was the 30th. It was not an April Fool's
maybe
joke.
she recovered, but
I've seen everything from...
Those photos, you don't recover from in 2 days.
I mean, I've seen some wild speculations from people online, even that she actually wasn't a victim, that she was complicit with helping Ghislaine bring some of the... I've heard so many crazy things about this.
When it comes to the victims of Epstein, yes, a lot of them were lured into recruiting other women. A lot of them say, and when you read some of the reports of what happened in Palm Beach at Epstein's place, it would be they would recruit high school girls to come in and give him massages that would eventually turn sexual, but he would pay them hundreds of dollars for these massages and these girls, and then he would tell them, hey, if you know any girls in your high school that want easy money. So these because what's weird about Palm Beach in that area, if you drive up there, it's very pretty by the water, but then when you cross the intercoastal from the beach, it's the water, the ocean, the islands, the intercoastal, and then trailer parks. Yeah, so a lot of these girls were coming out of these trailer parks and making $500 to go rub down a weird dude. They'd offer their friends or suggest to their friends to go do it as well. That's how they would get these other women looped in. So there is that part of like, maybe I have like a guilty conscience, but I don't think that they actively knew until they were having sex with Jeffrey, and then they're recruiting people for prostitution. That's a different thing.
Yeah. Right.
But a lot of them were coming over just for the massages. Not that makes it any better. They were underage, and he was a weirdo
underage.
old man.
Yeah, and then, do you remember in his deposition, they're like, so, Mr. Epstein, is it true that you have a mushroom cap-sized penis and that's it? And he was like, what the? Like, he looked around.
I didn't see that.
Look it up. Well, look at Rob. Just look up.
Wow.
Go on X and say Epstein penis shape.
No, I'm not going to look that up.
I mean,
actually.
speaking of, you were saying earlier, you feel, I forget which one of you three said it, but you feel like the documents for JFK are only coming out now that everybody is like dead who was involved back then. I think it'll be a very similar thing for
They're
Epstein.
fast-tracking the
I don't
people
think we're
being dead
ever,
part.
that's true, but I don't think we're ever going to fully get to the bottom of this situation until everybody who was involved is long
You know
dead.
what I mean? I feel like solving things. Why don't we do like the Neuralink thing and we just download her head? That'd be great. So we have all the information.
We're against transhumanism, that's why.
But I just made the biggest mistake.
What? Let it be talk. Let it be
I
talk.
went on X and I messed up so
What did you
bad.
type,
Jake's
Vinnie?
gonna laugh. I put Epstein penis because I thought the deposition was gonna come up. It's people naked and they're putting needles. It's like a surgery, and I'm like, there goes my freaking search engine. It's
Oh
working.
no,
So
I was
Great, now
actually
your algorithm's going to get
My
flooded
algorithm
with
is
like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I went to type download videos from X, like to download videos from the platform, but I accidentally wrote download X videos and clicked on the website, and I was traumatized, guys. I
I'm
don't
gonna
watch
use that
porn.
too.
I don't watch porn.
Sorry, honey, I didn't mean to. I was trying to download X videos.
Oh my God, it
What do you
was
mean?
bad.
I
It
was looking
bad.
up. I was on X putting Ashley Sinclair, but guess what? I put Sin, S-I-N, and it was a girl that was like this. And Maverick goes, "What the hell are you searching?" I go, "No, it's Sinclair." And I'm
No,
like,
but people
that's
that
funny.
download porn videos, they should be put to death immediately.
"Oh yeah, you don't download."
They all get caught.
No, what do you mean?
with
People
them.
that pay for
No,
porn. I
you
mean,
put
can
them in a folder that says comedy on an external hard drive in your office that nobody goes in.
All right,
Hey, Rob.
Rob, it's time for
Rob,
Express
All
VPN.
legal, but just above age.
Rob, she's your wife. Your wife could watch this. And
We watch them together. It's
Oh.
actually our tapes. What we do is we treat them like game film. We
Got
go back
you.
and
You
I
go
go, okay, this is fine.
She's like, "Listen, I need you to get up. I need you to go up harder in the middle." That's hilarious. But what do you think? You think this is all BS? Like this is just a random act of an accident, or ready? I'm gonna go completely on the other side. Or this bus driver was either paid or brainwashed to find her car and drive 70 miles into the back of her car.
Before you answer, also keep in mind Princess Diana wrote before she died in that car crash that she was going to be killed in a car crash.
Pretty.
Do we know anything about the bus driver? Did we hear anything?
I don't know
at all?
nothing.
Not that I was
He
able to
was a
dig
very
up.
nice reptilian man.
Humberto,
He died of
Any
suicide,
theories?
2 shots to the back of the head.
Shit happens, Vinny.
Okay, you
Uh,
think?
that-
You think it's coincidental
But out of all the
purely?
millions of people on the planet, she gets hit. She's getting. I mean, and I get it.
How unfair is life if that,
Oh, that-
if
yeah,
it's just
that's-
circumstantial? The poor girl ends up getting horrifically sex
Trafficked.
trafficked and then almost dies from renal failure after getting hit by a bus.
Oh man, I feel for her. She went through something horrible, and you know that trauma makes people act weird and crazy. I saw the interviews, and I don't know if she's 100% reliable.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
fair enough.
Like that post is weird.
It is
Yeah,
weird.
well-
very
There's
weird.
everything surrounding it is weird. That's why I wanted to talk. I mean, I cannot confirm nor deny anything. I just think the whole thing is super strange.
Can I say one quick thing? It'll be less than 10, 15
Go.
seconds. We, at one point, we were talking about having an Epstein victim on the program. And when we started to talk to her, we started to realize the more that we spoke with her, the less in this reality she was actually in existence. And I like Vinny, like the emails that I get from her to this day, I'm CC'd on, and it's like 91 other people that get this email, and it's wild people. Gayle King's email is in there. There's presidents that she's writing these emails to, and they come in the middle of the night. There's this weird part where you don't know if what happened to them actually happened, but imagine being these poor victims where something traumatic like that happens to you, and then the entire world just denies that it happened. And so then you're living in this reality where nothing makes sense to you because something that was so horrific happened to you that no one acknowledges. That's how you could end up having these weird mental cases
Well, the
where
thing
you
is,
do weird
Rob
things like
knows
that.
when we sit there and prep. I'm an Egyptian, all right? Because I'm in denial. Whenever someone comes with an accusation, whatever. I don't believe anything until I see it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Well, Humberto, believing is seeing. Seeing is believing. Your story, Hooters, the end of an era, re-Hooterization.
Yeah.
So they're going bankrupt. It's done.
Well, it's more complicated than that, Vinnie.
All right, open up your
Look at the sign. The sign says going out of business.
Made it myself.
Well done.
Made it myself. And please, if you have someone that works at corporate at Hooters, send him this segment.
Okay.
Because I got everything figured out. I solved it. Thank you. Write me a check.
You can save it.
Neck me. All right. So, latest news. This came out the last few days, last week. This has been brewing for a little bit. I don't know if you guys heard of it. That we're going under. So they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. If we can go to the next slide. This is an article from the New York Post. They filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11, and they're trying to get it out of the swamp, because when you file for bankruptcy, you usually restructure and then, give your business another,
chance.
Another chance. So their plans are horrible, all right?
No.
They want to make, this is real, all right? They want to make Hooters a family-friendly restaurant, all right? And I just want to remind, I'm talking straight to the people at Hooters. Just listen to me. This is how awesome you guys were. Roll the tape, please.
This is back in the day?
Yeah.
Let me see this.
Hooters Air offers flights from the Gary Chicago Airport, the convenient Chicagoland Airport with shorter lines and free parking. Fly to Myrtle Beach for sun, fun, and over 120 golf courses. Plus, enjoy Hooters Air continuing service to beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. Hooters Air service features all weather seating, food, and of course, the world famous Hooters girls. For fares starting at $99. $99.com or call 1-888-FLY-HOOTERS. Gary Chicago Airport and Hooters Air. We put the fun back into flying.
Yes.
This is the complete opposite of what we have. Now you get female pilots and
crashing into shit.
And male. What are they called?
Stewards.
Yes.
That's what we call them.
All right. These are the original guys. You know who these guys are? They're called the Hooters 6. All right. They had no business in restaurants. They never done anything related to restaurants. They're like, you know what's great? Boobs. You know what else is great? Sports. You know what we love? Beer.
Wings.
And wings.
Yeah.
And that was it. Look at those guys. They
look so great.
The guy on the left is so happy.
I just want to hang out with them. So in a beautiful morning in 1983, they just got together. They're like, we're gonna make the most awesome place in the planet.
Yeah.
That was their mission.
Yeah.
No holds bar. We're gonna go all out. What should we name it? All right. They couldn't decide. Hooters. All right.
Oh, I love
that. Is
that.
a double entendre for the young ones at home. That it means an owl.
Owl.
And one of my favorite parts of chicken.
The breast.
The breast, because it has less. And they just went on to sponsor awesome things.
I love it.
They had a beautiful racing team, Hooters Racing.
NASCAR.
They had some nasty drivers there. I did a little bit more research. It's a menu from back in the day. If you can see the prices now that we have
$145.
Now that we have Zoom capabilities, come on, go into the wings. 50 wings for $9.95. 50 wings. You can feed all your friends for $10. What
That's
happened?
Amazing. Inflation. Biden inflation.
Absolutely incredible.
Biden killed Hooters.
So, re-Hooterization, they want to make it family friendly.
Was that milk? I'm sorry, go back. Was that milk?
What?
They sell milk for 50 cents?
Yeah, for hot wings. People drink milk to help with heat.
Oh, I thought it was for the breast.
Neutralize
That's my
That's
thought.
the more logical
It's more like a
conclusion.
breast milk, 50 cents. She just brings it to the table. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Your eyes are good, buddy.
Yeah, I'm from far away, but not from up close. Go ahead.
You're wearing
I'm
glasses
blind.
out, yeah.
I wear glasses.
All right, so let's go to the next one. And now this is where we're getting. This is why they went broke. I don't have to say it.
Go work, go broke.
That's what it is, all right? I'll say I'm the first openly trans Hooters girls. My colleagues were shocked when I told them, but I had to prove doubters wrong.
I had a dude.
How do you prove them wrong?
In Connecticut. I had a pregnant Hooter. No.
How ratchet?
No, over here. The one that's over here.
The one that's over here.
In Connecticut was something different, but this one over here, pregnant girl came to the table, and I'm talking about pregnant, and it's like. And she had big boobs. And I'm like, I can't. It's kind of, I don't know.
Some people are into it.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, Ron loves pregnant chicks. Well, that's a whole nother podcast.
So the next one, they slashed this. This
no
actual
more of
woman.
this?
This actual woman.
Is that the trans woman?
No.
These are real.
They're all real,
Thought that was gonna be a trend.
original from factory women.
They're not eating none of the food.
They
there.
had a beautiful thing called the Bikini Day. So one day a year, girls will ditch their uniform and wear beautiful bikinis. Imagine for someone in Minnesota, all right? Your life is miserable, all right? Your wife is...
Oh!
Who the hell?
Oh!
How did you see that?
Wait, who put that
How
there?
did you even get that there?
All right.
Jake, oh my God.
Amy! Jake, I don't think we should submit in those pictures, all right?
That is
but
hilarious.
so you have your team sucks, all right? Your wife is 800 pounds. The weather is miserable. You're shoveling snow, all right? And they bring this to town once a year.
What do you mean?
All right, this is everything.
Wait, this?
No, this. Put that there.
Just as Humberto said, this is
that is
everything.
what I'm talking
this is
about
what shows
right
up on
there.
the screen.
Well, this is a little bit for everything. You
I
know,
have to
it's a
imagine
little-
they're
If you
going to
show up-
revamp the menu too, though, right? Because it's the. I mean, we're in agreement. It's the worst food ever, right?
Oh, you're gonna
by
get
like a
diarrhea. You're
wing
instantly gonna
standard,
get
it's the
diarrhea.
worst food ever.
I don't-
the
I
oil?
don't-
Nobody went for that.
I don't hate their wings.
Really?
I don't hate
Breaded
them.
or naked?
Naked. I don't
Yeah,
hate
you have to
them.
have naked. But like, bro, if I pulled up to a Hooters and this was the freaking starting 6, I'd be
I'm
starting
going to
7.
Twin Peaks.
Those girls ate all the food. You'll be like, sorry, we're out of food.
So in the same vein, you know, because
Jeez.
I'm really sad to see these things go. This is part of America. This Americana, right?
I might be able to bring you like a silver lining here. Is anybody so... I believe nothing anymore. Do you remember a couple of months ago when we were told that Red Lobster was going bankrupt?
Well,
now I think it was just a Twitter ploy so that everybody would start filling the restaurant up
No
again.
way.
And now
Are
they're,
you for real?
Yeah, they're out of bankruptcy and they're thriving now.
Well.
Wow.
Slow down, cowboy. A chapter 11 bankruptcy. File for a chapter 11. It's just a breath of fresh air to your business.
And that
right?
was Red Lobster?
Yeah, that was Red Lobster.
Oh,
I think they filed chapter 13. That is different. But that's it. You say you're bankrupt. Everyone gets paid, and you restart. It's like a restart button more than the business going away, right?
okay.
And that's a beautiful thing about that's a beautiful thing about America, because we have this thing that you can fail here and you can stand up back on your feet and try again and try again. Most countries, once you go bankrupt, you're done. Your friends will stop talking to you. You will have no chance to get a bank loan. Here, you can fail, try again, and that's why we put people on the moon. You know?
Your gut feeling,
Allegedly.
is that the winning recipe right there?
Huh?
Your gut feeling, is that the winning recipe? Are they going to...
No, I got the winning recipe. Let's go to the next one. All right. So, guys at Hooters, please close attention. All right. I have 2 plans. One of them is really simple, and everyone can understand this. All right. First of all, better wings. You have a point. They're okay.
They're okay.
They're okay.
They're nothing
but they
around-
need to be great. All right. You make great wings.
How
That's the
good,
first thing.
but how good would they have to be for you to go visit?
Like that.
last-
If they look like that,
last-
look at those wings, bro.
But if that last slide is delivering them, they better be the best wings.
Oh, yeah.
Let me cook. You're
Go
getting
ahead,
your head.
let them cook.
Second, all right, bigger booths, all right, because they're too tight, all right, and she's one of the really tight, booths. You need to give more space. Americans are getting bigger, and
Those
the
are
last
amazing.
thing is colder beer, all right. Some scientists in Germany, they're bringing the temperature of beer down.
Good, I like that. Oh, I
You
liked
know,
it.
they're going as low as 28. All right, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice and foamy. All right, this is the first plan. If they take notes, they do better wings, beautiful staff, and cold beer. Everything is gonna be back in place.
Okay.
Like the world will heal.
That's it?
That's it.
That's-
now. My second plan, and this is very much linked to economics, and I call it boobconomics, all right?
Only.
All right? Only hoots. I had our beautiful design team. Thank you,
Only
Diana.
hoots.
Thank you,
like
Diana.
that.
Thank you, Diana, for putting this together.
Diana's
All right?
hilarious.
And this is the plan. All right. Ladies, why would you like to serve a guy like me or like a Robert? Why would you like to serve him wing?
Okay.
All right? or Vinnie or this guy, they're studs, you know? Like, they'll get served. But why would you like to serve me, all right? You can't be making money in your bedroom doing OnlyFans, all right? You might, come on, this is reality, all right? Nobody wants to serve.
Let him keep cooking.
Nobody wants to serve me wigs, all right? So they realize the economics of this. It's like, I don't have to get out of bed to make bank. You know, what's the name of the lady that made 50 million?
Sophie Rain.
Sophie Rain made 50 million last year. Why would I get, like groped by a guy, watching UFC, all right? So I'm just going to do OnlyFans. So the price of boobs is gone up, all right? Because it's a wholeflation market, I don't say this. This is Adam Sosnick's opinion on the whole thing. So QR codes, all right? So they have their content business on the side, all right? And in their uniforms, they have a QR code so you can subscribe to her online business.
Wow.
So we get both of best worlds, all right?
So you see her at Only Hoots.
Only Hoots.
You get wings, you get the beer, you get to see her amazing body.
Yes,
then
great
she has a
wings.
QR code like on her chest. Boom, and then when you go home, you can do what Rob does.
They can get a cut. You can upcharge because you have physical presence. You can upcharge a subscription, and everyone makes money, and we save a valuable piece of Americana.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
By the way, I hope that they send this to somebody.
No.
Oh no! There goes your game.
It's fine.
Is it okay?
That's it. I rest my case. I'm
That
sorry.
That might be a sign from God.
It is a sign from God.
I mean, that is a really good point, though, that the reason why the girls have been getting progressively less hot, I mean, all the hot girls are selling pictures of themselves online. Why would they work for
videos.
tips and,
Like,
and
this is
minimum wage?
Like, this is an actual joke, but I'm making commentary that this type of place, Twin Peaks and all these, are going to go out of business.
Of course they are.
Because work is so hard. You work,
I do. I don't do that type. I feel like any work that involves like monetizing your hotness, monetizing your body, such as like Hooters, Twin Peaks, anything similar like that, when you're already commodifying yourself and already making money and tips off of your body, what's to stop you from going and making more money
There's
on our
no line.
Not that I agree with it, but I think that any job where a woman commodifies herself is like not something I would want to do, not something I'd want my daughter to do. So I have kind of like a negative opinion of both. I don't think we should necessarily be encouraging people to get into sex work. I know you're just joking, but yeah.
Were you working at Hooters?
No.
Never.
Absolutely not. I don't have boobs,
All right.
for one. But number two, no, I would not want to commodify myself in such a way.
If you guys were single, would you date a girl that worked at a Hooters?
I don't think a girl that works at Hooters would date me.
All right.
But if they would and I was single, yes, because it's not, to your point, it feels like a lot of girls, I think it would be more detrimental to find out after you meet a nice girl that like on date 3, she's like, by the way, like 2 or 3 years ago, I had an OnlyFans account. That would, for me, be, and if I was dating again, I'd be like, well, that's a deal breaker.
That's
like
a deal
I have
breaker.
to. But if she's like, I worked at Hooters, I go, oh, cool. I bet you have some fun stories.
Right.
I don't want to hear the stories from OnlyFans of what my now girlfriend did 3 years before.
Yeah,
It's different. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I'm saying it's like a slippery slope. And at the end of the day, you're still making yourself into an object and commodifying yourself based off your body.
Oh yeah, and I mean, could you imagine? I'm just saying, role play. You did OnlyFans for 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you were doing well. And then me and her are engaged, and we're at dinner, and some guy goes, "Oh my God, oh man, like you're."
Oh, it's a wrap.
I guess. What do you mean? Well,
It's
that's
a
why I
wrap.
would never
One
put
time I
myself
bought
in
your
that.
panties.
Yeah,
$3.
I told you guys the story. Did I tell you the story? I did. Did I?
Which one? Of the comedy club and the panties?
Yeah. Did I tell you guys the story? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
I never told you the
Compelling and
story?
rich.
I'm working security, guys. Great show. Sharing is caring. I'm doing security. Me.
All
At
right.
a freaking place in LA, and it's packed. And once you come, like sports bar is like a Mexican theme. Once you walk in, you can't leave because we are at capacity. It's in North Hollywood, and if I don't care who you are, this girl hot goes up to me and she's like, "Hey, do you mind if I like literally 2 minutes? I just have, I'm like, I can't." She's like, please, I'll owe you. She's really cute. I go, oh, I just like sneak out, go quick. She walks out, and her friend's standing there. Her friend's cute. I go. You could go with her if you need to. And she goes, no. She's just, she's such a. I go, what is she doing? She goes, don't say anything. But she, and I said something. She She's running out there to meet a guy that she met on Craigslist to give him used underwear that I can't make this up. And I go, shut up. She goes, I swear to you that 2 seconds later she runs in. She goes, oh my God, thank you so much. Here's $20 for me. I go, excuse me. I go, wait. Did you just go give your dirty ass underwear to some random? She goes, oh yeah. And she pulls out a wad of cash. She goes, I sell you they have to be used. And as we're talking and she's standing at the door, I see a dirty ass car go by and there's a dude driving like, I'm dead serious. And I go, what else do you sell? She's like, socks. And she has Maine customers that just want her to wear them for a week, like on, off, and sells them and makes a killing.
Insane.
We're in a perverted world. And you know what? I spent $2,000 on her. But listen. No, but I'm joking. But I was shocked in the man. She gave me $20 just like, and I was like, I go, she goes, yeah, I just made $300 just giving. But dude, imagine that guy grabs you and does whatever. Anyway. All right, Humberto, I hope Hooters and the fine
just
people
call me.
Only
Minect me.
Minect him for Only
me.
Hoots.
And I finish a business plan for you.
But guys, girl, great freaking stories today. Amazing show. Hey, chat, if you haven't subscribed, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. I think we're at 102,000. 200,000 is our next goal. And guys, I just want to question and put the comment in the chat. Do you guys prefer us going live at 4 p.m. or do you guys like us going live at 6 p.m.? We're trying to figure out so we know the hours because, if more people are going to be available at 6, we'll do the 6. But
we're time curious.
We're very time curious.
Open-minded, time curious.
Yeah, but like we always say, guys, love each other, take care of each other. The future looks absolutely bright. And we will see you guys on Friday. Peace and love.